Hi. My name is Matt Vicenza, and I first met Walter in 1989. So that's 21 years ago, and these were semi-old parts. And let me just say, my toast might be a little different, a little edgier. I mean, I commend the beautiful and moving toast that came before. I'm a different kind of fellow. So we first met in fall of '89, and Walter and I just immediately had shared interests. And among them was the environment. Some of you who know Walt a long time may know that super committed young student environmental activist Walter Tanner. And I made that mischief with him, and we founded things, and we accomplished things. We were actually part of like things that changed for the good, however briefly and fleeting. That was one of our shared interests, and we were into live music, and we were into food and cooking, and we were into alcohol. That was one of our shared interests, and perhaps a few other things. And one of the things that I always appreciated about Walter, as everyone here, I think really all of you who know him knows, is that he's just got this like super questioning, wants to figure out the world mind. Like he's a guy who has big fundamental questions about why we're here and what it all means, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just interesting. It's interesting to have a guy like that in your life who sort of, always has an offbeat, smart take on things. So our mutual friend Lauren told me a story just a few weeks ago that seemed appropriate, and both to that and the spot we are. That the Dalai Lama, Mr. El Señor Dalai Lama, came to Ithaca to give an address, and it was a super big deal. And Lauren and a bunch of friends and Walter's friends were walking toward the hall where he was speaking. And as they were, excitedly going there, they saw Walter walking the other way. And Lauren said to him, "Aren't you going to see the Dalai Lama?" And Walter said, "I see the Dalai Lama every day." And it's a moment that captures, like, he's witty and he's arrogant, full of himself, but charming all at once. It's a good Walter. So our history then continued forward. Walter and I had various times of being near each other. Walter even lived with my wife and I briefly in New York. We visited him in Boston. I remember Walter as a button salesman, as a few of you do. And got the whole button salesman. And Walter, along with Walter was a member of a fellowship and lived in California, and the only thing I ever really found out about the fellowship is the guy who ran it like the fellows. So that one worked. So throughout all these years, I just never thought Walter would get married. I just honestly didn't. And when you ask why, I mean, it's a good question. Like, he's super charming, he's witty, he's outgoing. He's handsome, although, like I told him today, he doesn't look a day over 53. He should be really proud of it. So why not, why wasn't Walter getting married? He's getting along in years, and I'll be honest, some people over the years have asked me whether Walter was gay. And he kind of fit. I mean, he's fairly well put together. He's a bit fussy. He likes the finer things in life. But I always knew right away that wasn't it, because I was like, he's comfortable in his skin. And I think you all know what I mean about that about Walter. Like, he's comfortable who he is. And if he liked dudes, he'd be hopping in the sack. That wasn't his pose. And I thought part of the answer was, Walter and I would engage a lot socially, go out, go to parties, and there would be young women who would be interested in him. And I could tell he was interested in them. And, there'd be a few drinks, they'd start to lean closer, and then Walter would go into, like, a 23-minute rant about, like, the Reformation, and I would just see these young women just be like, all right. I just sort of always thought Walter's a comfortable guy who loves his life, he has friends, maybe he won't, find someone, and that's okay. But then we went to San Francisco a few years ago. We met Jessie, and Walter had announced he was dating Jessie, and I thought that was exciting. We met her, and she's great. Like, she's really cute, and she's smart, and they do great together, and we were just so happy about it. And I've been ribbing Walter some, and I could do a lot more. Don't you worry. But the reason I'm so happy they're together is Walter's always been someone that I could have anywhere with me. Just the kind of guy who's open to anything, always excited about anything. Just, Walter's like a dog. You're home and you're just sitting there and you're like, let's go out the door, and you grab the leash, and Walter would go with you. Like, you could take him to a bar, you could take him to visit your mom, you could go anywhere. Walter would be there, and he'd be comfortable, and he'd be charming. So Walter and Jessie.